offer a very few remarks on Christmas Eve night, because the story is being told, and each of us is invited to enter into it in our own way. And tonight in particular, I don't want to add more to this story. If anything, what I'd like to invite us all to do, if possible, is to try to strip away anything that we maybe have added to this simple story of a child being born. I'm kind of in awe at how much has been added to this story over the last 2,000 years or so. On that dark night when Jesus was first born, there were no churches, there was no such thing as Christianity, there were no carols, there were no liturgies, there were no sanctuaries like this. There were no theological debates within the Christian community. Now, some 2,000 years ago, everyone knows the name Jesus. And yet at the same time, it seems we all argue about what that name means. We wonder about it, and we make grand claims about what it means for us. And sometimes maybe make grand claims about what that means for one another. A lot has been added over these 2,000 years. Perhaps some of those additions have been incredibly good, I'm sure they have. But some have become weighted, and perhaps cloud our ability to receive the simple gift of a child being born. This is how God comes into the world. This is how the divine and the natural plane meet. Not in a booming voice in the sky, not through theological debates or wisdom or articulation, not even through holy books, but through a human life, a baby, as each of us once were. The Christian message is one of incarnation, of honoring the presence of the divine in this human flesh that we all share. And yet somehow, over these 2,000 years, this tradition has set us apart from one another, created distance, and Christians have seen themselves as different, somehow set apart from others who have different understandings of God, even when those others have this same flesh and come into the world in the very same way. So on this Christmas night, I would invite you to see if you can let go of some of the extra stories. Not just theological ones, but all of the stories that maybe you hold that keep you separate, apart from those around you. We have theological stories that keep us apart as religions, but sometimes even in our own families or communities, we can have stories about each other, expectations, assumptions about what we mean or what we think we are doing in any given situation. This is just sort of what we humans do. But it isn't what we have to do. And the promise of Christmas night is the invitation to remember that at the core we were all these blessed children without any ideas or any letters after our name or any identity at all. Pure incarnated love. And that child still lives in all of us. We contain, I think, every single age we've ever been. It's still right inside. And not only can we see the child in each other, we can seek to open up ourselves to see the world as a little child, to let go of these distinctions and return to a sense of wonder, a sense of openness, a sense of connection. Sadly, some 2,000 years later, the world is not all set right. The new heaven and the new earth have not come to be, and it seems in many ways that injustice is just as horrific as it was when Jesus was born. So we cannot wait for that day. We cannot wait for that perfect day. But that doesn't mean we can't experience that divine blessing. And if anything, it means we should seek to experience it now, not later. Right now. Just as we are, with all the things we have done and all the things we have left undone, with all of the hurts that we carried, and with all of the hurts that we have caused. There's no timeline for this second birth. It happens every single moment that we return to that state of wonder. It can happen in the midst of an argument with your children over Christmas presents. It can happen while you're driving in traffic. It can happen anytime. We need not be perfect for it to happen. We need not transcend our humanity, but recognize and accept our humanity and see that we are all in this together. We are all imperfect. We are all beautiful. And we all have this divine life flowing within us. It is one life. And it is here now, just as it was on that first Holy Night. I pray that your Christmas will be filled with moments of wonder, that your hearts will be open to seeing the connections that exist and to working sometimes to make those connections when it's difficult and hard. Birth is not an easy thing. It's difficult, and it's beautiful.